All right, good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started here with the weekly briefing. This is meteorologist Andrew Grenn with the National Weather Service in Raleigh. We'll discuss the weekly forecast that will go from today, June 29th, through next Wednesday, July 5th. So let's go ahead and get started. New this morning, the Division of Air Quality and those in the Triad have issued an air quality alert that is in effect through midnight tonight, pretty much for most of Central North Carolina. The only counties that are not in that air quality alert include Sampson and Wayne County. So this is for fine particulates and some wildfire smoke that has moved into the area. We had this similar about maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. So that is in effect through midnight tonight. Let's go into the upcoming weather pattern across Central North Carolina. For today, we have high pressure in place with upper 80s to lower 90s. That will be under high pressure. We do have that air quality alert in place through midnight tonight. High pressure will shift offshore as we get into to Friday and mostly, especially the weekend. We will have a couple of clusters of thunderstorms that may track into the area from the northwest, both Friday and Saturday. There could be a chance Friday morning, but primarily it looks like it's going to be in the afternoon and evening on Friday, and potentially another chance for Saturday morning. I will talk a little bit about the severe risk. There is a marginal to slight risk associated with that potential. I'll discuss that in a little bit. On top of that, we have dangerous heat and humidity that is expected for Sunday and Monday. Heat indices could range from 105 to 110 degrees. And we will have the continued chance for diurnal showers and storms from Sunday through the middle of next week. As we go into the holiday, we have a slowly approaching frontal system during that time that will continue to be a focus for afternoon and early evening showers and thunderstorms. All right, this is what we are expecting for accumulated precipitation for the next 5 days. Largely dry today. As we get into Friday, we could see, a couple clusters of thunderstorms that move across the area and produce rainfall, especially across the northwest Piedmont, the Triad, mainly along and west of US 1. As we get into Saturday, we'll have a chance area wide, and again on Sunday, and again on Monday. So the 5-day total, based on the Weather Prediction Center forecast, could range anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 inch to maybe some localized spots up to 1 inch to 1.5 inches. And that will really ultimately depend on where these clusters of thunderstorms track. There's still a lot of uncertainty as to where they will go and the timing as to when that develops. So going into the severe thunderstorm potential, this will go from days 1 through 4. Today, we don't have any severe threat. On Friday, we do have a marginal risk, primarily along and west of US 1 and including the Triad. And on Saturday, that severe risk will shift a little bit further east to have a slight risk across the northwest Piedmont and a marginal risk extending into Raleigh and Fayetteville. Again, there is considerable uncertainty with these storms, and to kind of zoom in a little bit further. So our severe threat for tomorrow, we have the threat for some clusters of thunderstorms that may spread into the area from the northwest Friday afternoon and Friday night. A few of those could be strong to severe, but again, we still want to stress there is uncertainty as to where they develop and the timing and the track of the storms. The greatest threat right now looks across the northwest Piedmont, looking into a timing of late afternoon Friday into Friday night. And our hazards with that for tomorrow would be damaging winds and some dangerous cloud to ground lightning. Then on Saturday, that severe threat will shift a little bit further east. We still have a fair bit of uncertainty as to where the storms will develop. The greatest risk on Saturday will be across primarily the Northwest Piedmont and Triad, but that marginal risk will extend into Raleigh and Fayetteville, portions of the Sandhills, and the Northeast Piedmont. Timing for that event on Saturday looks like it's kind of typical what we see in the summertime in the afternoon and the evening hours, with again that threat of damaging winds. Outside of the severe risk, I want to point out our potential for some dangerous heat and humidity as we get into the latter part of the weekend and start the holiday going into Monday. So these are our maximum heat index potential for Sunday and Monday. On the left is for Sunday, on the right is for Monday. You can see if you basically draw an imaginary line to encompass US1, and you push that mainly east of that corridor, that's where you're going to see the highest heat index readings. In that area, we can see between 105 and 110. As you get into the Northwest Piedmont, including the Triad, those heat indices will still be fairly high, but they may not reach advisory criteria. So with that, a heat advisory may likely be issued for this period. So you'll want to stay tuned as we get closer to that particular period of the forecast. But probably more importantly, as we want to stress that as we get into the weekend, especially into early next week with the holiday coming, want to continue to maybe point out to the public that the dangers with this potential heat, avoid any overexertion, stay hydrated. You never want to leave people or pets in a vehicle. We want to assist those who are at higher risk. That would include anyone with heat-related illness, children, pregnant people, and older adults. And it might be a good idea to stay indoors. But we know that people will be going outside, especially for the fireworks next week. So if you do go outdoors, we want to recommend going in early, go outside early in the day or late in the day, and dress in some light colored clothing. And also maybe check on some of those that are most vulnerable, including children and the elderly. Our excessive rainfall outlook, largely we aren't expecting any risk for flash flooding, but we do have a marginal risk for some excessive rain on Friday. That includes portions of Greensboro and Winston-Salem. And this may be associated with that cluster of thunderstorms, as well as they have received a fair bit of rainfall over the last week or so. So the ground is still fairly moist. So if there is any additional localized heavy rain, that could produce some very isolated flash flooding. Going into the tropics, largely it's very quiet. We have some disorganized showers and storms across the southeast of Bermuda, but overall nothing is expected to impact central North Carolina over the next 7 days. Going into the more extended part of the outlook, going through July 6th through July 12th, we have above normal possible for temperature, roughly 30 to 40% chance of above normal temperatures. And we are favored roughly 30 to 50% of seeing above normal rainfall during this period. Our normal highs are in the upper 80s to low 90s, and our lows in the upper 60s to lower 70s. All right, let's go into our weather summary. We have a cluster of thunderstorms that may track into the area from the northwest Friday afternoon and evening, and again on Saturday. There is a severe risk associated with this potential, mainly a marginal to slight risk, with a greater risk on Saturday at the moment. We have the threat of dangerous heat and humidity for Sunday and Monday. Heat indices could range from 105 to 110. And I didn't mention, but we do have the air quality alert for fine particulates through midnight tonight. And on top of that heat and humidity, we will have the continued chance for afternoon, evening showers and storms from Sunday into the middle of next week, and including the holiday Monday and Tuesday. That is all I have with the briefing.